Well, I got 7 out of 8, almost 8 out of 8, but I can't be disappointed because Manly, they did it for Bowie. G'day guys, welcome to my NRL Round 4 tipping video. Now this video is coming out really late, so I do apologise for that. I just didn't have some time to do it this week, and it's going to be tough to do this video, but let's get into it. When we get to it, So Round 4 begins on Thursday night with the South Sydney Rabbitohs hosting the Penrith Panthers, a team they've had a poor record against in recent years. The Panthers will be without star player Nathan Cleary, and Dylan Edwards is still out for this one. Casey McLean is on the reserves, as well as Brad Snyder. Campbell Graham is out for the Rabbitohs, and Alex Johnston is back in jersey number 2 for a big inclusion there. Ravalawa in for his second game after being a late inclusion for the Bunnies last week. Well, they let in some points, didn't they, against the Cronulla Sharks? Scored some points towards the end of the game, but overall defensively, especially in that first half, they were just getting way too much yardage against the Sharks, against the Rabbitohs there. So the Rabbitohs have started this year quite well. 2 wins on the trot to start the year. It was their first loss. They take on a Panthers team that has definitely been struggling and looks different this year, but their next man up mentality is still there. And I was really impressed with their loss. I can't believe I'm saying their loss, but their loss to the Melbourne Storm, I thought they played really good and they rallied the troops behind. So, look, as for this game, I'm going to go with the Penrith Panthers, and I'm going to go the Penrith Panthers 13 plus. I think a lot of people are going to go Penrith 1-12, and this could be a close game, but I think Penrith, even though Nathan Cleary's out and Trent Talau comes into the halves with Jack Cole, there's still so much quality within that side. You've got Paul Alamotti, you've got Brian To'o, you've got a strong forward pack as well. Just too much experience and really good coaching from this team. So I'm going to go with the Panthers to win 30 points to 14. The Panthers win by 16 points, and it's probably boring, but I'm going to go first try scorer Brian To'o. I think To'o's going to get the first try against South Sydney this week. Next up, typical one to tip. It's the Sydney Roosters taking on the Gold Coast Titans at 6 o'clock Friday night at Allianz. As for the Roosters, Connor Watson is out and Ethan Roberts has been named as an out. Onto the bench, it's Hugo Savala, Blake Steep, Nat Butcher and Lindsay Collins. Makahesi Makatoa and Billy Smith are on the reserves. And for the Gold Coast Titans, Keanu Kinney is out, expected to miss 6 weeks. So really sad news there, hoping for a big recovery from him because he's a great young player. Jalen de Groot comes in to fullback for the Gold Coast Titans. Still Tony Francis and Jojo Fafita on the wings, and on the bench, Brock Gray in jersey number 17 with Isaac Fasuama'ali in jersey number 16 for this one. So great win by the Titans last week. Picked them in an upset, picked them 13 plus, as I saw a couple of comments. Not many people going the Titans 13 plus, and a lot of people picking the Knights, but I just thought the Gold Coast looked good against the Dogs and scored the points, and could score some points here against the Sydney Roosters, a team they've had a pretty poor record in recent years against. They should be up for this. Should be a good performance, a good game, but I think it's a bit of a trap. I think the Sydney Roosters win. I think with the home crowd behind them, Connor Watson is a big out, but Zach Docker-Clay comes into jersey 9, and I like what I've seen from him, especially in rep footy earlier in the year. I'm going to go with the Roosters to win by 10. I think this won't be a blowout win, but I think the Roosters can win comfortably. The Roosters to bounce back after, well, not 2 straight losses, but their 2-1 record to start the year. I'm going to go with the Roosters 26, the Gold Coast Titans 16 in this one. First try scorer, I'm going to go Angus Crichton. I expect a big game from him on Friday night. And anytime try scorer, I'm going to pick a Gold Coast Titan, and I'm going to pick Philip Sami. Next up, it is the Dolphins hosting the Brisbane Broncos. It doesn't have a venue for this game, but I believe this game is at Suncorp. So it's basically a Broncos home game, even though it's a Dolphins home game. Technically, we all know the Broncos fans are going to turn up in their numbers. Now, Katoni Staggs has been named as an in, which pushes Dean Mariner into the reserves. I don't mind this. I think Dean Mariner is good on the wing. I don't know how I don't know how good he is at centre, and I think Shibasaki has really come into that jersey and done a great job in recent weeks at the Broncos. As for the Dolphins, they look unchanged from what I can see here, and the Dolphins still chasing their first win of the year. They almost had it against the Tigers. I did say the Tigers would win that game. It would be close. They ended up winning by 12. I picked them by 6. Really impressed with the Tigers last week. The Dolphins, I thought it was a better performance at home in front of the home crowd, but I still don't think they were great. So for this game, I think they're going to struggle. Now, for some reason, I think this game might be 6-all into 8-6 Dolphins lead, but I think the Broncos run away with it. And this is probably the lowest score I've picked for a team this year. I'm going to go with the Dolphins to score 8 and the Broncos to score 24. I'm going to go Broncos by 16. I think that we saw Payne Haas really have a big game last week. We saw Walsh play a few, kicking game. I know he's still making some big errors in the games, but I still think there's a lot of class within that team. It's basically a home game if it is in Suncorp. The Dolphins aren't great this year, so I'm going the Broncos big. And first try scorer will be Jesse Arthurs. Next up, it is the Dragons taking on the Melbourne Storm. Now, it is my girlfriend Emily's birthday on this game. So it's game day on her birthday for her Dragons. So I almost want to tip the Dragons just for her. The Storm are missing Jerome Hughes, missing Nick Meaney, missing Nelson Asofa Solomona. David Clemmer will make his Dragons debut off the bench in jersey 15. And Dylan Egan will make his NRL debut via jersey number 17 as well. There's some big outs for the Storm. Onto the bench, Bronson Garlick. As for the number 7, it's Tyron Wishart. And I think there is another inclusion, which I'm just trying to work out who it is, but I can't work it out. It may be Alec McDonald, but I don't think it is. Will Warbrick comes back as well onto the wing, which pushes Grant Anderson into Nick Meaney's number 4 jersey. As for this game, great performance by the Storm last week. I thought the Panthers were very, very good. And I don't know if they were the better side. It was such a good game of football. I think both teams played really well. The Dragons have had the week off. They're still looking for a win as well. They had a really great preseason, but we're yet to see them sort of open up and play their best football. Can they play a bit better this game? I've got question marks over the bench. I do have some question marks over the size of the bench, and we'll see how it goes against the Storm. But the Storm have got some big outs. So I don't think the Storm are going to blow the Dragons away. But I am going to go the Storm in tipping here. I think the more safe pick is going the Melbourne Storm. The Dragons beat the Storm at Amy Park last year. And they're such a hot and cold team. But I do think the Storm win by 10 points. I'm going to go the Storm to win. I think the Dragons can keep this one low scoring and get some of their defense right at home. Storm 22, Dragons 12. And I think the first try scorer, maybe even off a kick, will be Eli Katoa. I think he's going to leap in the air and score a try. Next up, it is a tough game to pick. It is the North Queensland Cowboys chasing their first win versus the Canberra Raiders. Now, the Raiders were blown off the park last week, and as I said at the start of the video, Manly did it for Bowie. They really turned on, put in a great performance, even without Tom Trbojevic, Lehigh, Hopewade there at fullback, and Ruben Garrick, the freak, scoring 4 tries, and he loves to try against Parramatta. And who did Manly play this week? Yeah, Parramatta. The Cowboys look decent. They played a really good 30-minute sort of period there against the Brisbane Broncos. And, I thought the forward pack really stood up and they were going downfield. I still have question marks over the back line. I don't think the Cowboys look great, if I'm being honest. It was a tough opponent against the Brisbane Broncos, but I thought they were up to the task, especially to start the game. And now they're in front of their home fans. They're chasing a win. They've started the year really poorly. Raiders have had a 2-1 record to start the year. Looked really good in the first 2 weeks. Looked absolutely awful last week. I think that... this game's tough. I think the Raiders win it. I think Joe Tapine being back for the Raiders is a massive inclusion to their forward pack. I think they're in for a big game on the road here. They haven't beat the Cowboys in their last 6 or 7 encounters. It's been a long time coming. I think this is it. I think the Raiders are a very good side this year, and I think I was wrong about them. The Canberra Raiders to win this game, 24 points to 14 over the Cowboys by 10. And first try scorer and my boldest pick of the year, I'm going to go with Kyo Weeks to score the first try, and Kyo Weeks to score a double in this game. Next up, it is the Cronulla Sharks taking on the Bulldogs. Now, this is going to be a great game. I think the Bulldogs are playing really well, and even though they're missing players, they are going to be up for this one. Braden Hamlin-Uele is out for the Sharks. The bench is Atkinson, Talakai, Hazelton, and Tukahu Tapua. A nice win against the Rabbitohs last week. Obviously, a great first half as well. As for the Bulldogs, I thought they were decent against Parramatta, but they definitely weren't at their best. And they have a really good defence, and they could make things tough for the Cronulla Sharks. If they can get turnovers, that sort of thing, force those errors, this could be a really good game. So, look, I have a little bit of a feeling that this game will be closer than people think. I know everyone's going Sharks 13 plus, Sharks at home, but the Sharks aren't really putting sides away like they should to start the year. I think later in the year they will, and I think they're building towards something special. They're still starting off the year very, very good, in my opinion. This game's going to be a bit closer. I'm going to go the Cronulla Sharks to win, but I think it'll be an 8-point win. I'm going to go the Sharks to win 26-18. I could see this game being an absolute grind. I could see this game being an 18-10 sort of scoreline. But I'm going to go the higher scoring because I think the Sharks have some points in them. I think both of these teams can score points. First try scorer, I think his form has been unreal to start the year. So I'm going to go with Kyle Iro to score the first try for this one. Hey, next up on Sunday at 4 o'clock. Now, there's no... If you guys don't know, I have spoken about it on the channel, but I was very close with my pop, and I lost my pop just over 2 weeks ago now. And Pop, his whole life, was a Manly fan. I mean, Parra should hate Manly, but I think there's a little bit of love there as well. And look, this is the first time that the Manly Sea Eagles will face the Parramatta Eels since he left planet Earth. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game, and I think it's really fitting that we're actually... I'll be watching this game, but I won't be watching it too closely. I'm actually having a farewell for Pop at the time of this game, with the game on, with people who spent life around him, and I've just... I'm going to get emotional. Manly have an interesting week. Obviously, Daly Cherry Evans has said he won't be at Manly next year. And yeah, that's really, really interesting. Now, Tom Trbojevic returns from injury. He said that he will play, and there he is in jersey number 1. Ruben Garrick loves scoring tries against Parramatta. He's in jersey number 4. Lehigh Hopewade back to the wing. Bench of Simpkin, Waddell, Bullymore, who scored a double last week. And backfence Nathan Brown, former Parramatta Eel, back to face his old club with Paseka out. Now, I don't know what the hell this Parramatta team list is. I'm sorry, but I understand that Jordan Samrani is not part of the top 30, so he can't be put onto the wing. I mean, you've got options of Bailey Simonson. I don't know how Sean Russell is straight back into this team after a poor start to the year, and we're wanting to get better. As for the back row of Parramatta, of Sean Lane and Katoni Katuga, I think they combined for 70 metres, 80 metres, something like that last week, which is not leadership. It's not there. Sean Lane's walking around with his hands on his hips all game long, and I'm actually sick of it. I actually want to get a win, and I want to see players have a dig. Katoni Katuga, young player. I look forward to seeing more of him. But man, that error, that costly penalty at the end of the game, I was extremely frustrated. I thought we played really, really well against the Bulldogs and just couldn't capitalise. And that ending was just awful, as you saw in the vlog. Joey Lussick in jersey number 9. I know a lot of people bagging him out, but I thought he had a really good game last week. And I think if you play Lussick for the first 30 and then you bring Riley on just before halftime, keep Riley on after halftime, and bring Lussick back probably in that last 10 minutes, especially if the game is close, providing that experience. I actually think Joey Lussick is doing a good job at Parramatta, so I look forward to seeing more of him, especially in this game. Now, the bench is Offengawi, Matt Dury, Riley Smith, and Dan Kerr comes back in this side. So Sam Tuivasa has been really hard done by here. After 2 great weeks for Parramatta, he's been dropped, which is really interesting. Samrani hasn't been dropped, guys. He's just simply not in our top 30. And obviously, I'll make a separate video, but with the acquisition of Dylan Walker, I guess that makes things hard. Anyway, for this game, Parramatta have really disappointed me. They're knocking on the door of a win, it feels like, but they now play Manly at Brookvale. They don't have a good record. Manly have scored a lot of points this year. Manly's going to be too good. Pop's going to get the last laugh on Sunday. I can't wait for Friday, May 23rd when we play at Parramatta. It's going to be a different game, and that vlog is going to be absolutely dedicated to my pop. But for this game, Manly win and win well. Manly 32, the Eels 12. I don't like this lineup this week. First try scorer will be Luke Brooks, and I'm going to give you a Parramatta anytime try scorer. Wet conditions, I think a simple little barge over sneak play. I think Joey Lussick is going to score a try. That was a bit of a rant, wasn't it? All right, last game is 6:15 Sunday. I can't wait for 6:15 time slot to go away. I prefer footy at 2 o'clock on a Sunday. It's too late when it's 8 o'clock and you're just getting ready for bed. You've got half an hour to unwind, an hour to unwind, and then you're going straight to bed. I'm just not a fan of it. But the Tigers, who have really impressed me, the Tigers are killing it this year, taking on the New Zealand Warriors, who beat the Roosters. They didn't play that great, but defensively, they're getting some things right, which they didn't get right in the first week. I can't remember who they played. Oh, they played Manly in the second week and blew them away. So both of these teams are now chasing 3 straight wins, which is really interesting. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is out for the Warriors. That is a big out. Adam Pompey moves to the wing, and Rocco Berry returns via the centres. As for the Tigers, they look to be unchanged, and that is about it. It says Dylan Walker has been named in jersey 14, but he's been released effective immediately. So I wonder if he will play. Let me know if you know. Really interesting there. It says... Jacob Laban is set to join the bench after Dylan Walker was released. So there you go. Now, Tigers, great comeback win. Great adversity. They waited. They were patient. Forced Dolphin errors. Got great field position and executed it at key moments to get a great victory. Warriors hung in there, but it was a very scrappy victory. This game is a Tigers home game. They are chasing 3 straight wins. They are currently in the top 4. They're killing it. The Warriors have had 2, they're chasing 3 straight wins as well. I wouldn't say they're killing it though, and Roger is a big loss. I'm going to tip the Warriors here, guys. I think everyone is going to tip the West Tigers being at home here and having 2 nice wins. However, I think that the Warriors' defense is going to stop the Tigers and their opportunity from scoring too many points. Now, I do expect this to be a fairly high-scoring game, but I think that the Warriors can put the Tigers away quite comfortably. I'm going to go with the Warriors to win by 8 points in a bit of an upset. I'm going to go the Warriors 24, the Tigers 16. And my first try scorer, I'm going to go big and bold here because I haven't done it for 2 weeks. I'm going to go Mitchell Barnett from the New Zealand Warriors to score the first try for this game. Anyway, guys, those are my tips. Make sure you check out the Entertain House feed on Sportsbet as well. We almost nailed a 4-leg try scorer multi. Gamble responsibly. Let me know your tips in the comments below. Keep an eye out. I will be announcing the membership giveaway video very shortly as we have reached 5,000 subscribers. And as mentioned, I'll try and get a video out speaking about Dylan Walker joining the Parramatta Eels. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Good luck with your teams this weekend. I'll see you guys later.